starts out this week with Mick Foley in the ring. Well, after the recap of what happened last week, and he offers his congratulations to one of his friends, Becky Lynch, for becoming women's champion on SmackDown. Bravo, by the way. And then he addresses the women's title on Raw, which brings out Charlotte and Dana. Okay, so there was a couple of apology angles in this Raw, and this is one of them. It's like, yeah, Dana has to apologize, and goodness. We all knew where this is going, so just bring the other ladies out already. Oh, snap. That's what happens after Dana apologizes to Charlotte, as far as Dana being the reason why Charlotte lost to Bayley last week. Oh, lo and behold, here comes Sasha Banks pleading her case about she's going to win the title at Clash of Champions. Yeah, fine. Oh, but wait, there's more. Here comes Bayley stating her case that she beat Charlotte last week and that she should be the #1 contender to go into that match at Clash of Champions. Duh. But then the unthinkable happens. When Dana was going on and on saying that, okay, they should have a best of 7 series in order to figure out the #1 contender, Charlotte shuts her up, and then Dana slaps Charlotte. I thought that would be the turning point in Dana's career where they separate. And Mick Foley Foley booked the match Sasha versus Bayley, and whoever won that moved on to face Charlotte at Clash of Champions. Sasha versus Bayley, it turned into a triple threat because Mick Foley drew Dana in there. And I would have loved to see Dana win this, but Sasha ended up winning in a pretty good match, by the way, by these ladies. It was pretty good. It was a pretty well rounded triple threat match. I'd say it was one of the best matches of the night. It was. There was botches, there was slowdown, but it was better than a couple of other matches that were in this episode of Raw. And that's kind of sad when you think about it. Even though it kind of ended in a double pin, if you take a look at it, Sasha's shoulders were down along with Bayley's. But they gave the victory to Sasha. Maybe there'll be some controversy, and Becky, still have Becky on the brain, and Bayley will maybe be inserted into the match because of that controversy. Even though Bayley is too nice, and she was so nice. She was so nice in her talking, and she didn't want to get fierce. She didn't want to raise her voice. All she wanted to do is plead her case, but she was very nice about it. Maybe she could be nice about it next week when they show the footage of the double pin. Who knows? So after that, you have Dana walking around backstage and then still apologizing to Charlotte. Why? This was the moment to break away. It should have happened. Dana should be going out on her own, whooping ass, working her way up the ranks to try to challenge for the Women's Raw Championship. But she ends up getting Charlotte's bags anyway. Why did that take place? Why? Sad. Really sad. But anyway, poor Dana. Poor Dana. The Shining Stars. I don't take them seriously, and WWE is trying way too hard to make us take them seriously. Trying to sell a Puerto Rican timeshare to R-Truth in the background, and Goldust ends up saving him from that. Ridiculous. And then you got Enzo and Cass, and then you're gonna have Enzo face Epico later in the evening because of course they called out the cheating and the shenanigans. Whatever. Anyway, that match was set to take place later on. So you got Owens and Kevin Owens being interviewed in the back and so on and so forth, doing his usual stick, saying that he was going to beat Roman Reigns later on in the evening and then go on and face Seth Rollins and beat Seth Rollins. And yeah, saying that, hey, he looked at Seth Rollins all this time and then he figured out that, hey, I'm the better choice. Fine. Work that feud. Work it on up. We already know what's going to happen at the pay-per-view. And I'm going to you know, go through that in a bit. But then Jericho comes in right afterwards saying that he was supposed to have the highlight reel with Kevin Owens, but now he had no one to bring out, so he was going to bring out Sami Zayn. And he's like, you know, Kevin Owens is here and Sami Zayn is here. You know what that makes Sami Zayn? A stupid idiot. Oh, goodness. It was hilarious, to say the least. It was. What was? It. Anyway, so you have Bo Dallas against a jobber, and there was even a chance of let's go jobber during the match. Even though Bo Dallas, okay, believe in Bo. I should have believed in Bo. We don't believe in Bo. Bo Dallas, just grow a beard and be a part of the Wyatt family along with your brother. Why don't you do that? That would be more entertaining than... Okay, they're trying to hype you up as something to take seriously, but we don't buy it. We just don't. You're beating jobbers now. You're the third person on this roster that's beating down jobbers, which is ridiculous for this new era and ridiculous for a 3-hour episode of a wrestling show. It is. Let's go, jobber. God. Bo Dallas wins, and again, a waste of time. The highlight reel was nice. It had Jericho his guest was Sami Zayn. And all they could talk about is Kevin Owens, former best friend, new best friend. And it was funny when Sami Zayn was like, yeah, I was his best friend, but he doesn't care. Yeah, but I found out you'll find out the hard way that he doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about these people. He only cares about Kevin Owens. And he's like, the biggest thing that Sami Zayn said is like, yeah, me and Kevin Owens, we want to be here. We want to be just like you. You're the first ever. You're a 6-time world champion. You're the first undisputed champion. But now, every time I look at you, you're just Kevin Owens' bitch. Okay, look. This highlight reel was old school. Not even Attitude Era. No, this was old school. This is the way it used to happen on the Brother Love show on Piper's Pit. The fucking welcome to my parlor. This type of thing happened on those shows way back when. And this solidifies a feud. And even though the feud won't last long, there's going to be a match at Clash of Champions between Jericho and Sami Zayn because of it. Brilliant. Because it was funny how Jericho at the beginning, he's like, yeah, Kevin Owens is here and Sami Zayn is way down here. He kept going lower and lower until he reached the ground and he put the microphone on the floor and was still talking to him. Bravo. Bravo the way to sell this interview. It was sold pretty well. A bit of comedy, but a lot of truth was told in this interview. And Jericho, of course, attacks him. The funniest thing is that he whips out his phone, not once but twice, but the second time he's like, Kevin Owens sent me a text about you. Want to know what it said? And smacks Sami Zayn with the phone, gives him a code breaker. Bam. Very old school. I appreciate that highlight reel. Yeah. Do that shit from now on almost every fucking talk show so we can take a feud seriously, or at least the beginning of one seriously. Bravo for the highlight reel. Cesaro versus Sheamus. Nobody cares. But the way it ended was Cesaro had a foot on the ropes in order to give him leverage for the pin against Sheamus. So Sheamus is up 3-2. No one cares. Oh, for a future title opportunity, now they're not even saying which title. They're not even saying which title, even though it was supposed to be United States title, but now it's for a future title opportunity. Way to go, WWE. You think that you think that all of us just have Alzheimer's and think that we're just going to forget. No, fuck that. Anyway, 3-2, and Cesaro is now catching up. Anyway. Okay. Seth Rollins goes and questions Mick Foley, which I do understand where they're trying to go with it, but they should just leave this alone and then just concentrate on the fucking match that's going to be had at Clash of Champions. Please understand that Okay, they're trying to keep Seth Rollins a tweener, which I can understand, but at the same time, it's like you need to do the transition a lot better to face. He barged Mick Foley, he questioned his integrity, he asked for Stephanie and so forth, and of course, he has something against Triple H still. And that's where this shit is going to go. Triple H is going to show up again at this pay-per-view and cost Rollins the match. Who doesn't see that coming? Please tell me you see that coming. But anyway, Nia Jax versus Alicia Fox. Oh, God. We're supposed to take Alicia Fox seriously? No. This is just someone for Nia Jax to run over. And she did just that. She ran her to the fucking barricade after swinging her. It was almost reminiscent of a Droopy cartoon. That's the way it was, and that's why it was so funny. But this, yeah, we already knew Nia Jax is established as a monster. But he should run over someone more significant than Alicia Fox. Even though I understand, but at the same time, please just leave that shit alone. We couldn't take that match seriously. We just couldn't. So, New Day Rocks. They come out and they apologize. This is the second apology for the evening of wasting everybody's time last week with the Old Day and Anderson and Gallows. Then Anderson and Gallows comes out and of course they throw in their hats to take the titles off of them, and yeah, we're gonna beat you down. We're gonna beat you with your unicorn horns and everything, and they proceed to have a match. Anderson and Gallows versus Kofi and Xavier of the New Day. No titles on the line, but Anderson and Gallows ended up winning. And could this be a side of things to come? Probably. I think it's about time that Anderson and Gallows did it. But they're still calling it the WWE World Tag Team. They're not calling it the Raw Tag Team Championships yet. Even Anderson and Gallows made that mistake. They still call it the WWE Tag Team Championships. Not the Raw Tag Team Championships, which they are now. They are that now. Anyway, Jinder Mahal against Jack Swagger. Jinder Mahal now finding peace with himself, whatever. And then he beats Jack Swagger. It kind of hurts my soul saying that. Jinder Mahal gets a win on Monday Night Raw against Jack Swagger. A former world champion, a former Money in the Bank winner, former United States champion. I know Swagger hasn't been shit for a while, but please sell this to me. Please sell this to me on why we're supposed to take Jinder Mahal seriously. Ever. Damn shame. And now it's known that Jack Swagger's contract expires soon. So we know, okay, look, Swagger versus Jinder Mahal, that is the very definition to jobbing. Period. Speaking of jobbing, Enzo versus Epico. And outside interference from Primo. This is the same way that Ravishing Rick Rude beat the Ultimate Warrior for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania 5. Enzo went for a suplex from apron to inside of the ring. Primo pulls the legs and holds the legs while Epico pins him without the referee seeing it. What did Enzo and Cass do to start to getting beat by the Shining Stars of all people? The Shining Stars last week, one-on-one this week. What happened here? They do their usual mic stick and they're losing now? This was a team that was supposed to be in line to be contenders for the tag team championships. And now you're losing against the Shining Stars, once again, sell this to me. Please, if you can. So the next thing, alright, you have Roman Reigns. Yeah, he says he's going to go, and the only way he's going to get into the match is beats KO's ass, if it's going to happen at all. But then you have Seth and Owens in an interesting backstage segment where, yeah, Seth was like, yeah, I hope that it's one-on-one so I can beat you and, you know, prove to Triple H, da. But Owens was like, yeah, you needed help all through when you had the championship. And since you've been here, you need yeah, so you would like Roman Reigns to be in the match. I'm surprised you don't like Roman Reigns to be in the match. So he could do all the work just like he used to when he was in the Shield. And now since you don't have anybody help, like Kane, J&J Security, and who helped you all along? Triple H. Which was very interesting because, yeah, those are facts. Yeah, Shield, JJ Security, Kane. Seth Rollins always had that when he was going up. He did. Even though Seth Rollins has talent. But that was the way he was structured in order to be the biggest weasel in the business, in order to step up to get to the top. Foley said don't interfere in the match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens, or there's going to be consequences and repercussions for Seth Rollins if he interfered. The funniest thing about it is when Roman Reigns had his match with KO, yes, Seth Rollins came and interfered, but he didn't attack Roman Reigns. He attacked Seth Rollins. No, I'm getting my mind messed up here. Seth Rollins attacked Kevin Owens, causing a disqualification so that Kevin Owens wins, so it would have been a one-on-one. Foley comes out, was like, no, not doing that. Him and Seth Rollins have an exchange of words, and he sends Seth to the back. No, restart this match is not going down that way. This match was not the best, but it certainly wasn't the worst. It wasn't. They both had their spots, Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. They did. And they had a couple of impressive spots. Rusev comes down, gets Superman punched for his trouble on the apron, so he didn't technically interfere. And Kevin Owens hits the pop-up powerbomb on Roman Reigns, pins him, so it will be a one-on-one at Clash of Champions between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens. You know damn well Triple H is going to come down and interfere in that. You know damn well it's going to happen. So, after that takes place, Rusev crushed. Yeah, he attacks Roman Reigns, he kicks him, he puts him in an accolade, so that feud's not done. Bravo WWE for doing that. Because it wouldn't have made any sense to put him in that triple threat unless he was the one getting pinned. I would have ranted for a long period of time if Roman Reigns would have been put in that fucking title match. It wouldn't have made any sense to me or to anybody else, pretty much. He wasn't done with Rusev. So Rusev, they made sure that we knew and understood that Roman Reigns and Rusev is not fucking done. Yes, it may cost Rusev the United States Championship, but this is better than Roman Reigns being in the title scene, in the world title scene. It is. So, come on. What did you guys think about the show? I admit, I kind of dozed off during the show. I was just like, oh God, no. Especially, okay, Braun Strowman was absent this week, but then they throw a montage of him promoting a fucking microwavable food type of thing. And it's like, oh God. That was just as worse as him being there, really. So you have 3 destroyers on this show destroying jobbers. You have Enzo and Cass losing to Shining Stars now. You have a women's division that are trying to decide who's going to be the next women's championship challenger besides Nia Jax. Come on, man. They have to get better with this. They just have to. But at least Roman Reigns is not going to be challenging for the Universal title. At least that's not going to happen. So, tell me what you think in the comments below. Did you like this episode of Raw, or did it almost put you to sleep like it almost did me? Drop kicks, body slams, throw motherfuckers over the top rope, both feet hitting the floor. Yes, I'm a wrestling fan. This is the theme, and I'll see you later. Credits.